Oh,
What is up, family? Peace and love. Welcome back to another one. Today, we are talking about the energy of the mother. We have Mother's Day coming up, and we just wanted to have a real conversation about how our mother, the imprint and the information and the programming we receive from her, creates our frequency and our capacity for love and for relationships and for life in general. So that is what we're going to be diving in today, looking at how Dream's mom impacted how he shows up in love, how my mom impacted how I show up in love, and just, discuss how the mother frequency is so important to look at when we're talking about our love and our relationships.
gotta love mama.
Really?
Yeah, no, straight up.
So definitely gotta love mama, right? Because we all come from mama. That is our first God. That is our first love. That is our first nurturer. And that's why the mother frequency goes past just biology. Because when we're talking about the mother frequency, we are talking about the nurturing, the care, the protection, the providing, those the safety, right? All of those things are what make up the mother frequency. So when you, babe, when you think about mothering, mother frequency, mother energy, what comes up for you?
Think about DRAY Wise. Nah, I mean the mother is matter. So what matter is the matters of your heart.
Mm.
So yeah, I think about you and how much you matter to me. And the matters of your heart is a frequency. It's an energy. It's it's essentially like what we came down here to do, right? A lot of times we get tricked into this robotic stance and this robotic play of doing uh, um, things that's redundant, that's the same over and over and over again. But the mother is nature, is natural, it's a flow,
Mm.
right? I like to give the analogy when you see these cookie cutter neighborhoods with these cookie cutter homes, essentially it doesn't feel unique. It doesn't
Mm.
feel natural, right? But when you see these other neighborhoods with these beautiful structures, somebody coming up with these beautiful concepts, beautiful homes, beautiful ideas, that's the mother.
Mm.
And everybody's mother is unique. So naturally, mother is creativity. Mother
Mm.
is the ability to go in the kitchen and come out with a full course meal when there's only two cans in the cupboard.
Cupboard is such an old school way of saying cabinet or pantry.
My mama is
What
from
the
the
hell
island.
is the
My
cupboard?
mama is from the
It is
island.
not a cupboard. It
My
is
mama is from
a
the
cabinet,
islands.
a
God damn.
pantry,
My mama used to go in that
cupboard.
kitchen.
That is not the word.
Hold on, let me tell you. My mama used to go in that kitchen, and I swear it was nothing but a spam can in the kitchen.
Mm.
Spam can and an old bag of rice, and she would come out with a full course meal, vegetables and everything. I'm like, where the hell did this broccoli and green beans come from? God damn! Even to the point where she came out with juice and everything. I was like, damn, I didn't see this in there. It was an old half a gallon of milk.
Mm.
So you know what I'm saying? Mothers are magic.
Mothers are magic. That's what I was just thinking
They
when you were
have
saying
the
that.
ability to, create and ability to tap in because naturally they are pulling in, right? They're
Mm.
pulling in. So they're pulling in everything they consume. They're using their imagination and their creative faculties to be able to move whatever matters of the heart matters to them.
Mm. So, in simple text, what I hear you saying right now, or in simple language, what I hear you saying right now is the mother frequency. First of all, it's an energy that anybody can tap into, but it's really about creating and making things shake based off of what you love,
Absolutely.
right? So, the mother frequency is kind of like the earth frequency,
Hmm.
right?
Hmm.
Like Mother Earth or the planet Earth is always creating, providing, and even allowing certain traumatic things to happen, like a natural disaster or something like that. That's like a child getting their ass whooped, so that they can come back into alignment with, who and what they're supposed to be, or what a
Absolutely.
people is supposed to be. So the mother energy is being grounded and centered in your heart and creating from there.
Absolutely.
But, my question to you now, with that being said and with that understanding, what happens when a mother's heart is distorted or is misaligned, or things have happened in her life that has made her not show up as the mother that she desires to be, right? Or she just doesn't have the capacity or the skills to be a grounded, healthy, whole mother, right?
Hmm.
What does that look like when a mother's energy in her heart has been wounded?
Absolutely. I think all mothers have been um, traumatized in this earth realm, especially in this earth realm, to an extent to where, I'm saying, they're just doing the best that they can with the information that they're provided with the strength that they have at the time. So even when you go into the aspects of the mother that's a crackhead and she doesn't take care of none of her kids and she drops all her kids off to, grandma's house, and grandma's basically raising all the kids. That's spirit, that's God, because essentially they were going to learn more from that particular situation than her being present in the household. You get what I'm saying?
Mm.
Because remember, this whole thing is about the amalgamation of your own heroic journey. So,
So why
like,
don't you give me a story of that from your own experience and something that you observed?
well, for instance, my brother-in-law or um, my brother had his his baby mama. I hate using that word. God damn, ain't that a bitch? That word right there. God, his baby mama transitioned, right? And she was a lovely girl, real sweetheart. You know what I'm saying? Went through a lot in her younger years as a child, but you know what I'm saying, when you grow up in the hood and you grow up in this kind of lifestyle, you get caught up in a frequency of habits that doesn't serve our greater good. So, you know what I'm saying, she was more my homegirl than she was more of my brother's uh, spouse.
Mhm.
So she would take the drugs, all of that, blah blah blah. Anyway, my brother and her had two children. He don't do no drugs. He's sober, whatever, blah blah blah. Real square wear. She, party, take drugs, all of that. And before, when she transitioned, she took her last one based off of overdosing on that fentanyl thing, rising in power to the goddess. And essentially now my niece and nephew live and are being groomed in a better situation, quote unquote better situation, that has my niece and nephew head on a swivel, real focus. They're going to church, right? Even though we don't believe in church, but they got some kind of religious structure. Mimi, she didn't have no religious structure. She was kind of leaning towards us, but she was also in the church, so she didn't know where her spiritual gnosis was going to come from. So essentially, you know what I'm saying? The mother is an aspect of Osar as well, right? We could look at Osar and Aset as one. It's an invisible intelligence called the subconscious mind. And that invisible intelligence called the subconscious mind is essentially like they're not learning from the words you're giving them like in a masculine way.
Mm.
Learning from more of the essence and the flow that you're moving with.
Mm.
So that's why you can see a mirror in our daughters with you.
You just said a mouthful right there.
Hmm.
So what I'm picking up from you right now is that sometimes a mother's decisions, whether they look healthy or positive on the surface, ultimately always end up shaping and grooming the kid or transforming the kid in some sort of divine and sacred way that they needed for their soul's journey, right? Or for the
Mhm.
experience that they're supposed to have.
Mhm.
So I get that. I understand like some of the experiences I had with my mother that were traumatic led to me being able to have this relationship with you.
Absolutely.
You know what I mean? The
Absolutely.
way my mother dated growing up led me to look at relationships a certain way and choose partners a specific way.
Mhm.
So, in what way has your mother specifically impacted your life? And I want you to tell me from two perspectives. First, I want you to tell me, the blessing or the gift of your mother and how that made you the person that you are today. But then I also want you to look at some challenging aspects of your relationship with your mother and how that impacted, your life and your relationship.
Yeah, I think my mom was mainly because my mother, she went through a lot as she was, coming up in America, especially, right? Coming to America, no pun intended, to be with a man, my dad, that was in the life, and she's wet behind the ears, but she's following this man just based off of love, if you will, right?
Mm-hmm.
So she follows him to Houston. Her whole family's in
Where she
Houston,
came from?
coming from St. Thomas, Jamaica and St. Thomas, both of them. Um, and essentially, she just, what I'm saying, she just moving in the space of following her heart,
Mm.
right? And on the surface, it might look bad or whatever because again, it didn't necessarily work out, but it actually set up my hero's journey so my mama could be Aset and I could be Heru.
Mm-hmm.
So this is a whole raising Dion situation over again, right? So like my mama, she lost a kid as when when her daughter was two.
Mm-hmm.
2 years old. That's heavy. That's so
Mm-hmm.
right. And that was her first child. So now all of a sudden she had me, and essentially she probably doesn't want to give as much love. She wants to kind of step back, like, okay, I had this nigga. This nigga got breathing problems too.
Mm-hmm.
You know what I'm saying? And I ain't gonna touch this nigga just like that.
Mm-hmm.
But meanwhile, as I was going through my breathing struggles or breathing problems, essentially, I overcame it. But still, the gate was up. You know what I'm
Mm-hmm. The
saying?
guard was
The
up.
fence was up.
Yeah.
And, you know what I mean? Essentially, and my mom gave me a lot of love. She used to hug her, hug on her big old breasts and everything. You feel me? I remember late night shows, all of that, right?
Mm-hmm.
As a kid. So she wasn't like as guarded or just what I'm saying, like stepping back, but I think it did impacted her from a
Eat dinner.
particular mission.
Eat your dinner.
So when that happened for her, that's a big deal for anybody. You know what I'm saying? You don't know
So
how to
how do you
react
feel like
in that
that
time.
distance, right? So we get
Hmm.
it. Your mom experienced a certain level of trauma
Hmm.
with your older sibling.
Hmm.
So you basically have an angel sister that is with you,
Let's
right?
say, yep. Shout out to
So
Janelle,
your mother
Jelani.
having that hurt and then having you were her rainbow baby essentially.
Hmm.
So you said you feel like there was a little bit of space between you and your mom, maybe a little bit emotionally, energetically, just because she was trying to protect her heart from not experiencing the same level of heartbreak that she experienced with your sister. So, what do you think that created inside of you as a man?
Independence for sure. You know what I'm saying? I picked up at a very young age that my mom wasn't really with it. So essentially, at that young age of me picking it up, just based off of us being what they used to call them kids,
Latchkey kids.
latchkey kids, yeah, just outside kids, really shit outside, um, and not really having no like what I'm saying, not really having no responsibility. You know what I'm saying, like
Mm,
we learned how to take care of ourselves, but we didn't necessarily have to do chores or anything like that.
Mm.
You get what I'm saying? That's
Mm.
crazy. I just thought about that. Like, yeah, that's wild. But it was a beautiful thing because essentially what happens is it pushes you into another level of thinking. Because
Mm.
at a young age, I remember thinking like, man, what the hell? She doing this all wrong. You know what I'm saying? At a very
Mm.
young age.
At a young age, you had that awareness.
Yeah, it was crazy. And
Mm.
that's why some of us come down conscious like that. Now, my
Mm.
brother,
Mm.
oh, that nigga, goddamn, he kind of on the spectrum. That nigga, I had to take care of him for real, like straight up. And, and that's what it was. To take care of him. And, you know what I'm saying? So I grew up kind of real, a grown up as a in a kid's body, if you will.
Mm.
Feel me? Caught the bus at a young age. Maybe he was on the bus at 8. I'm taking my brother to school on a metro at 8. 2 buses, then walk to school. Crazy shit. You feel me? By ourselves, not thinking of nothing, not thinking of it in any way. I think it was just the times that we were in. You know what I'm saying? But who
I
knows? We
think
could have got snatched up. And then,
I think that definitely that mother imprint of that mother frequency for you
hmm
definitely impacted our relationship, especially at the beginning.
mm,
Like not even at the very very beginning, but like when things started to get very real in our relationship, when we started building and growing things together,
hmm
I used to feel like you weren't able to receive my help or my support or my love.
mm,
Like I used to feel like, dang, I'm showing you this love, I'm showing you this presence, I'm showing you this energy. And I feel almost like you're kind of just like blowing it off or like ignoring it. Not because you uh you know didn't want to receive it or whatever. I just felt like you couldn't, at some point in time, I just felt like you couldn't really see it because you were always so busy just taking care of yourself. Like you were so used to doing everything for yourself that when you have somebody that actually starts doing things, caring and nurturing and all of these things, it's like, what's that?
hmm
Right. And so there's a few times where I felt like I had to like share with you, like, babe, like let me help or acknowledge the energy or the presence that I'm giving. So
hmm
that's one of the ways that that mother energy impacts, right? Because your mother was working, was out, and you had to have a certain level of independence. Now you were moving through life not really knowing how to receive that help,
hmm
or not really being able to lean on another person. So
hmm
I think, that was interesting. What are some positive things your mother imprinted you with, like straight off the top? Like this is a positive, not something that you had to learn to do the alchemy around.
Oh yeah, my mother was a hustler. She's a grinder. So she been in school since I was a kid, and she's still in school. So even though she's still in school and she never really finished, shit, just the ambition to win. You feel me? The ambition
Mm,
to keep going. Like she never was without a job. She always gonna go get a job. She worked at Toys R Us for a long time. Then she ended up finally getting her nursing degree and working as a LVN, um, one of them nursing schools, and she
mm-hmm,
got her LVN license. So that was good. And then and after that she was on it. When she got that license, you know what I'm saying? We was definitely at the house by ourselves. But just seeing that and seeing her get to it, you know what I'm saying, and providing, you know what I mean? Like especially in middle school, we used to be strong willed on her. So we like, Mama, we
mm,
need them J's. You got us fucked up. We not knowing that she actually going out here to go get the money hard. Okay, my mom. Okay, I'll figure it out. I'll find it. And we gotta have them. She busted up doing
you gotta be
extra
tight.
hours, extra time just to go get them, so we can have have them J's on or whatever. And yeah, that was a beautiful thing to see her sacrifice right? And now, I do the same thing. I took that energy and transmuted it myself, and I sacrifice whatever I have to get into to do to make it happen.
Yeah, so literally all in all, there are some positive things we receive from our mother, positive
Mhm.
energies, frequencies, mindsets, beliefs. And then obviously there's some imprints and programs, that we have to transform and evolve.
Mhm.
Um, and we want to be able to really recognize these things because it really does impact how we show up in love. What's something that you observed between me and my mother that may have caused, you know, a challenge between us and our love and relationships? Maybe a way that my relationship with my mother impacted my personality, or a way my relationship with my mother impacts how I parent, or how, we relate to each other.
Um, I don't think what's something. Say, repeat the question again.
So, an impact that my mother has had
Hmm.
on me based off what you've seen of us
Okay, yeah,
that impacts our
that impacts
relationship
our
or our
relationship. Yeah, that's
children or
uh,
anything like that.
um. I don't think I. I don't think I have a real impact that.
Or maybe it's in the past. Maybe it's not something that's impacting today.
Right. I think self reliance is a big thing. For all of us. Like we have to be self reliant. Cosmic Goddess says, "Hey y'all," and same. I remember taking the Metro Young, me and my little sister crazy. I'm telling you, that shit was crazy. What's up, Cosmic Energy? Um, yeah, nah. You know what I mean? When you have mothers that go out and hunt, right? It's a masculine trait, and it wasn't necessarily what you were doing. It's more so what I needed to do. You know what I'm saying? For you. So
Mm.
as a man, you have to do your big. We have to do us, and not have somebody. It's like another man coming in and saying, "Hey, look, I got it." Remember that
But in the
scene?
form of a mom.
Yeah, remember that scene
Yeah.
in um what was that movie called? Money. Damn, what's that movie called? Come on,
I don't know.
Money. Come on, y'all. Y'all know what that scene. What
You
was it?
got to give more ticks. You can't say that
Money.
scene.
Ah, what's up, Jenny? What's up, purple carbonated money?
Hey, y'all. Hey, all of y'all.
Oh my God, it's gonna hurt me until I figure out that
You got
movie.
to give more
Okay,
context.
Lorenz Tate was in it. Uh, he was young.
But what happened in the
Smokey
movie?
was in it. They went to war. I remember they went to war, and then
I don't remember that movie.
oh, damn, it's gonna hurt me until
But
I
what?
figure it out.
Their presidents?
Dead presidents. Thank you, Jenny. God
Yeah,
damn.
Jenny
See
coming through.
my.
But what
See,
happened? I forgot what
the
happened.
'90s babies ain't gonna get it. I'm just getting older, so I'll forget. You
Mm-hmm.
feel me? Dead presidents in the movie. Old boy came with that money. Lorenz Tate just got out of the war and stuff. He came, pulled up to the car. Hey, baby girl, you doing all right? Hey, Johnny, how you doing? Lorenz over here in the passenger seat, looking real scrubbish. And then that's
Mm-hmm.
that's another sign. He was in the passenger seat of her car.
Mm-hmm.
God damn, we missed all the symbols. Boom.
Mm.
He in the passenger seat looking scrubbed. Don't got no money, nothing, right? Just came out of the war, trying to get back with his baby mama. Dude was like, hey, she was like, hey, he said, hey, I got something for you.
Mm.
She said,
Mm.
now Candy, I told you, I got this chump nigga right here. Don't be giving me no money with the chump nigga right here. I told you we're good. You don't got to be spoiling us like that.
Mm.
That nigga said, hey, somebody got to do it.
Mm.
I was dead. I was like, after I
Wow.
seen that scene, I was like, hell nah, niggas ain't stepping up on mine. You got me fucked up. You feel me?
Mm.
Straight up and down. So, as a man, it is important for us to take care and provide and protect our household, whether that be spiritually, mentally, financially, physically. And if somebody comes in and says, "Okay, I got it," damn, he's stepping in the boundaries, he's stepping in the house.
So my mom is a Leo mom,
Hmm.
and her mother frequency is that of provide and protect.
Absolutely.
She is a lioness. She is going to make sure that everything and everyone is squared away.
Hmm.
And it's a beautiful thing to have a mother like that, but it can overstep boundaries, right?
And the beautiful thing about your mom, though, is like once me and her gained a relationship, then it made sense. I could feel the dance because you don't want to step on a certain relationship that flows in a particular way of love, right? Because sometimes love can look different in everybody's household.
Yeah.
And this is chaos. So in chaos, there is no one way, one right. This is the right way, and all that kind of stuff.
Yeah.
It's a Out of chaos comes order, and if they created an order out of that, then naturally I had nothing to do but step back, observe, and then be able to flow in my state and still do me, but appreciate and observe their relationship from for what it is.
Yeah, and that's so good with what you're saying. And that's one of the things I appreciate about you and what people need to understand in relationships. There's going to be some things about a relationship dynamic that you observe with your partner and their family that you may not understand, that you may not get because you may not you didn't grow up in that same type of way. But that doesn't mean that you can't learn and take away and grow from that experience. So yeah, that's my mom. She's going to make sure that things are really, Cameron. What happened there? She's going to make sure that everybody is taken care of. And I think one of the imprints and one of the ways that set the tone or the frequency for me as a mother is I make sure that the kids have everything that they need when they're going out and about. Like, okay, what do you need? What do you got going on? Like, they know that I care about what they have going on and I want them to be supported in it, right?
Absolutely.
And I got that from my mother. Now, on the opposite side of that, my mother could be what she used to be, very controlling, very like, got to do this, do this, do this. Two things. On one hand, that made me a controlling person and I didn't even realize it. Like, y'all, I used to have this issue where if I had an idea about something and I shared it with Dream and he did not agree, if he was not on board with it, if he was like, yeah, babe, let's do that, I would get triggered. I would get triggered. I would have to be like, okay, it's okay for us to have different opinions. It does not have to go my way. Everything will always work out. That's one of the imprints that I got from my mom. Because she wasn't taking anything less than what she thought or what she wanted or how she felt like it should be. You know what I mean? I remember when I was a kid, we went to private school. We went to an elementary private school, still in the hood. It was called Kings and Queens Academy. I went when I was like pre-K, kindergarten. And so we're going to this school, and at this school, it's a Christian academy. So you got your Bible text, you got to pray when you eat lunch. They're very structured and they have their rules. Well, it was coming time for a new school year, and my mother went out and found the books that we had to have. She went and found them somewhere else cheaper, right? The school was like, no, you have to buy your books from me. They wanted to keep all the money to themselves, right? They did not care about you having the text and being able to do the work. You had to get it from them. This is a part of their funnel. This is a part of how they make money.
Right.
My mama being the big boss bad bitch that she is, first of all, her deciding that she was going to go out and find the books at a cheaper price, that was already her being like, nah, I'm going to do my own thing.
Right.
But when they did not accept us with those books and tried to make her pay for the books from them, even though she already had them, She said, "That's all right. I'm pulling him out of this school."
Mm-hmm.
Like that's the type of mother that she is, or the type of woman that she is. Like there was no compromising.
Mm-hmm.
This is what it is. And so that's one of the things that I felt like I had to heal within myself within our relationship. That was one of those mother imprints because I can't be mad every time you don't agree. And when you would talk to me about it and be like, babe, like, first of all, I did not say no. I did not say it was a bad answer or thought. I'm just saying, I don't know. Let's think about it more. I'm like, why the hell am I over here so mad and frustrated about that? You know, but that was a learned behavior. That was something I had picked up on from my mother. And so I had to.
Yeah, this thing is about, how would you say? This thing is about solutions, right? And essentially what happens is when you're in a relationship, you must find a space to, you know, compromise and meet people where they are and build and grow as a unit. So, you know, if you haven't experienced a lot of relationships, it could be a thing where people don't understand that aspect of it. You get what I'm saying? Um, and you know what I'm saying? Just from that level of, how would you say, understanding that I have as being older, right? Now all of a sudden I can be able to see, oh, okay, she still thinks this is all about her right now. Oh,
Really?
yeah, I'm saying that's what I can feel it, right? So I'm like, oh, okay, she doesn't really understand. Like, hey, this is a team thing we're doing. Like, we're on a team. You know what I'm saying? And to DRAY's credit, you know what I'm saying? She always been the star player and stuff like that. So I picked up on it quick, subconsciously. I was like, oh yeah, this bitch got me fucked up.
What?
Hell nah, I already, yeah, see, because you know, when you a star, like just imagine you being a star since you were 5. This is her who I'm sitting right next to. Basketball star, volleyball star. Like, you know, she was the shit. MEAC player of the year 2 years in a row. In a row. Rookie player of the year in the MEAC their first year. Cool. Right? So now she doesn't know how to hear no. She got a whole bunch of yes men around her and shit. Right? Or yes woman, because hopefully she didn't have that man around there. You know what I'm saying? So now naturally, you know what I'm saying, when you're coming back down to us mere mortal levels, because that's essentially what you did. You came down to our mere mortal levels. Now all of a sudden you got to adjust and, you know what I'm saying, compromise and make space with others, um, so we
That
can
is
breathe the
something that I've
same,
had
so
to
we can all
learn.
breathe the same air. So you
But
know
it's
it's a
not what I don't feel like it's exactly. I mean, I get what you're saying, right? I get what you're saying. Um, Learning to play
with mere mortals. Go
the
ahead,
role
say
that I
it.
need to play based off of where we are, based off of what's going on.
Yeah.
You said something so challenging to me
But you know
a
what's
while
interesting?
back.
I ain't never seen myself as a mere mortal, so she had me fucked up. You feel me? I was like, all right, I see you big time star and shit. Yeah, you got me, you know what I'm saying? I'm reading those shit. This shit gotta go. Okay, yeah. I see that. I see you gotta know. Cut that shit down, chopping that tree down. Straight like that.
No, you cannot say that like that.
And it was a beautiful thing because, you know, I guess what happens is we just become one unit and just understand that compromise is a big thing in relationships. Hand me that book right there, that secret uh, of black male and female sex. I just want to read something real quick so we can get deeper into the fold. All right. So I read this to y'all, Patreon family. So just understand what we're talking about. So this is the bonding aspect of relationships, right? When we're talking about relationships and being in a union with the melanated male and melanated goddess, right? It says we will first look into bonding in terms of solutions versus mixtures. Solutions versus mixtures. Solutions are groups of molecules that are mixed up in a completely even distribution. Solutions have an even concentration throughout the system. So, solutions in regards to the relationship between two people are evenly distributed energies.
Mm.
Evenly distributed energy.
Mm.
Evenly distributed energy from the two individuals that create a balance of the two when they are combined as one.
Mm.
That's the yin and yang, right? Solutions, the act of solving a problem, questions, etc. So now, as you're saying, is my way or the highway, I'm telling you, nigga, it's a compromise. Let's figure this out together. You feel me?
But here's the thing though. Neither one of us grew up observing our mothers in healthy relationships and being able to find solutions,
Mm-hmm.
equally distributed compromise. We saw women hyper independent, focused on what they had going on.
Mm-hmm.
My mother was the type that was never any outside noise. No, you don't. No matter who you are, it's what she thinks, what she wants, how she sees it, whatever.
Mm-hmm.
Right, for her kids. I never saw my mother come to healthy compromises in her relationships.
Mm-hmm.
We just never saw it.
Yeah.
So we had to learn it. One of the reasons why I had to learn it is because one of the things that I had observed, one of the mother imprints, that really set the frequency for how I receive love or what I believe about love was that disagreements were heavy, toxic, demonstrative.
Mm-hmm.
That it couldn't be like, okay, we're having a disagreement, but they don't have to get hot. They don't have to get heated.
Mm-hmm.
I had always just saw heated disagreements.
Yeah.
I didn't see a lot of compromise growing
Yeah, I
up.
seen my mom. When she had a stepdad when we moved into Woodbridge, in that area, essentially, you know what I'm saying? They used to fight all the time or argue, but we used to be at practice and stuff. Um, but we could tell they had some kind of argument because
You could
when
just
we
feel the
come home,
energy.
yeah, we'll feel the energy or whatever, right? But one day we was at home and we in this play area or whatever. They had a playroom thing or whatever, right? So we in there playing the game, and essentially we just hearing them arguing heavy. Right? And me and my
Who
brother,
is we? I was about to say who is we. You got to say who it was. How
me,
old were y'all?
me and my brother, we was probably 16, 17, something like that. Yeah, 16,
So y'all are
17.
young men for real.
Yeah, we up there. We tall, big basketball players, and we about that life too. And we from the hood, so fuck this house. So essentially, we playing the game. We hearing them arguing. Me and my brother look at each other like, is this nigga talking to my mama like that? All right, yeah. So mind our business. We can mind our business. Hear him yelling again. My mama yelling the loudest. Like, nah, I don't really like that. Fuck it. We just pause the game and we just walk over to the place just to see what's going down and see what kind of action needs to be taking place. You feel me?
Mm-hmm.
We about that action. You feel me? Straight up and down. So now, all of a sudden, this dude, for some reason, well, something happened, right? And they end up getting downstairs. And my mama said, "Don't touch me." Oh, we must have ran down them stairs so quick. Nigga got that knife quick. Both of us went and got a knife because he was about to go. Like we, that's
Y'all
how
was
much
about to stab him
that's how
up.
much love we have for our mama. Me and my brother. We obviously we still love our mama to this day, like to the utmost fullest. But this nigga was about to go. This nigga called the cops on us. Crazy. Said he was afraid for his life. Da da da. Like we had knives. We was like, we was real shifty in that. We was like, I don't know what he talking about, officer. I ain't have no knife. What is he talking about? Blah blah blah. Right? We put them hoes back. But that nigga was, you know what I'm saying? Because all we had, my mama said, "Don't touch me," and I think he was just trying to, like, you know what I'm saying, trying to make sure she don't like hit him. So she was kind of holding him from what I seen, because he didn't like push her or nothing. And he was like, no, I'll never touch you. And mama, like, you know, he is an African dude.
Mm.
He's about to go down, baby. So, anyway, what was the point of that? What was you saying? We was talking about arguments and stuff.
Compromising.
No, you was talking about arguments and why
Never
people.
seeing healthy solutions.
Oh, so yeah, so you know, out of relationships, you're gonna go through things, right? And essentially, it has to be some love in it to find a compromise, to find a healthy solution, right? Let me finish reading this part so we can really
We
understand
really
what it
didn't
is.
need no more book, but okay.
Hold on, I just want to read this so y'all can see it. It is no wonder that the generic definition for the word solution refers to solving or completing a problem or question. When two people come together in a balanced relationship, we're balanced, and their energies are evenly displayed and supported in the union, their problems are naturally solved.
Mm.
So what that means is when you and your spouse come together and say, "Okay, let's figure this thing out. Here goes the problem. It's you here, the problem's right here. It's not me and us having a problem. It's the problem right here, me, you, and the problem. We're tackling the problem. We're not tackling each other, right? That's a healthy union. That's the yin and yang. That's that energy that's going to keep the love, the energy united. You feel me? Their relationship seems effortless. They have each found their solution in their relationship and in each other. When elements join and become compounds, they lose their individual traits. So that means
Mm.
we become one. We are one. You feel me? We become one looking ass. In solutions, one sees the benefits of giving up their individual energy because they see the best in themselves when they are united or combined with their partner's energy.
Mm.
We
That's
are
good.
all looking for solutions or relationships that address all our problems as individuals. This is the goal of individuals who participate in relationships. Everyone is searching for their solutions.
Everybody is searching for their solutions.
Absolutely. So that's a big deal. And that brings me to the Lionsgate. Now, if y'all see my community posts on the community tab, right? The line I put that the gas when I went and got some gas today, it stopped. The gas tank stopped at $88.53, which is 888.
Mm-hmm.
Right. And then there was an 823 at the bottom. I was like, oh my God. Right. Anyway, guess what we got going on? Y'all see it. New Love Life Dallas, 88 Lionsgate. Pull up. DRAY and Dream Wise, Brother Yosef, Roger Martin, and more special guests. And right now, these tickets are going fast. These early birds are going fast, baby. And I'm talking about fast. And with the early bird, what you get is you get one free item from my table, me and D-Ray's table, and then one free item from Brother Yosef's table. Oh my God. Hey, y'all pull up, Dallas, Texas, stand up, Lionsgate. And more than a relationship topic that we're going to have is more so about the spiritual social networking. So we just want people to come have a good time. And you know I'm about to bring the fun, nigga. I ain't even trying to have all that serious talk, man, and all that shit. Fuck all that bullshit. Let's play, let's have some fun, let's laugh, and let's enjoy each other's company. And also let's build friendships. We're not trying to put y'all boyfriend and girlfriend, nigga. We trying to build like real platonic
Boyfriend and girlfriend,
friendships. You feel me? Yeah. Like me and D-Ray, we started off as friends and now we are lovers. And strong lovers at that, like real strong. You feel me? Four deep, 4 kids deep.
Mm-hmm.
So yeah. What y'all talk about in here? What's up? What's okay?
Yeah, that star gotta shine. Jenny know what's up. So look, I'm gonna play a song for us, and then we're gonna keep going with the conversation. Okay, because I want to look at, we've talked a lot about our personal experience and how that mother frequency is showing up,
Mhm.
but we can observe life experiences. Like when we look at these athletes like Stefan Diggs, who has all of these baby mamas out here, or like a Cam Newton that has all of these baby mamas out here, or you just see, or even like a Klay Thompson who supposedly cheated on Meg the Stallion, and that's how their relationship went where it went.
Mhm.
You got all of these different relationship dynamics. Even when we look at our family members and we look at their lives, I can see how my mother's impact influences how my brothers show up in love.
Mhm.
So after we listen to this song, I want us to really investigate real situations that are not just our own, what the mother imprint actually is
Mhm.
in that situation, and how it is impacting the relationship. And I'll start with a good example of that. But first, let's listen to this wonderful song. I press shuffle on my phones. I'm like, Spirit, give us a song to listen to while we uh while we are on the live. And this is what we got. I'm excited. Stop it. Wait a sec. There we go.
And I can check me. I can choose character over every fucking thing. I can forgive. I can forget if I want to. I can better begin all over again. I was singularly minding my business. I felt like my love life was finished. I was satisfied.
Believe me.
I got my music, my family, genuine friends who love me. Check up on me, pray for me. I wasn't even feeling lonely. Then you pulled up on me. What a surprise! A universe in your eyes. I couldn't pretend I wasn't seeing what I was seeing and feeling. What a surprise! A universe in your eyes. I couldn't pretend I wasn't seeing what I was seeing and feeling. It took us no time to recognize we would become lovers, friends, and allies. Time truly moves smoothly when the stars align. Oh no, I'd be your one. Oh no, you'll be mine. A surprise, a universe in your eyes. I couldn't pretend I wasn't seeing what I was seeing. Feeling what a surprise, a universe in your eyes. I couldn't pretend I wasn't seeing what I was seeing. Feeling my lonesome heart just shut down. Honey, I blocked all my incoming calls. Nobody could get close to me. I refused to care at all. Then you showed up, consistent, vetted, and a friend. You taught me that I could love and be loved. What a surprise, a universe in your eyes. I couldn't pretend I wasn't seeing what I was seeing. Feeling what a surprise, a universe in your eyes. I couldn't pretend I wasn't seeing what I was seeing. Feeling.
All right. That is Jill Scott. Love that song. That song is like magic. What a surprise, a universe in your eyes. Sis said, "What a surprise, a universe in your eyes." I couldn't pretend I wasn't feeling what I was feeling, right? Very deep song. Go listen to more of that. I could totally see it as a powerful manifestation song when it comes down to love and relationships, all right? So I want to look at how mother energy imprints the masculine, right? I want to look at how mother energy imprints the masculine. And so as I was thinking about this morning, I was thinking about my brother, right? So I have a brother a year younger than me. We like this, right? We roll dogs. We had pretty much all the same lived childhood experiences, but the impact of those experiences kind of hit us differently, right? Being that I'm the only girl, he's the youngest boy, etc. But when I think about his relationship with his ex-wife, I can 100% sure tell you that his ex-wife believes he's a mama's boy. I can 100% tell you that his ex-wife has labeled him as the man that is ran and governed by his mama. Right? A few reasons why I would say that is the case is because my brother can talk to my mom, right? Him and my mom are connected. He relies on my mom as wise counsel, somebody that he can be supported by, somebody that's going to give him encouraging words, so on and so forth, right? And I think I could see how my brother's relationship with my mother could negatively impact his marriage, right? Not only that, we grew up with a single mother, so my brother is used to seeing women be independent. His ex-wife grew up with a mother and a father in the household, and the mother seems to be more, more relaxed, more laid back, not really up and at it. And so the mother imprint that was on my brother was this expectation that he didn't really have to carry his wife's mental, emotional, physical load because he was so used to seeing my mother just do it. You know what I mean? And so that's one of those things that I've observed. Like when men sometimes have a mother that is hyper independent, that did it by herself, that was single, he has those same expectations of the woman that he dates, for her to be independent, be able to do things by herself, carry her own load. But that's not like reality in the dynamic of being husband and wife and all of those things like that.
Yeah,
so
absolutely.
How have you observed that?
Well, yeah, I can see Andrea, Chris's ex-wife.
You giving names. I wasn't giving names.
Well, I mean, they don't know these people, goddamn. And those are fake names. Fake names.
Okay.
But I can see how, her being the youngest of like, 4 girls or something like that. And her being
5 kids.
Yeah, and her being like a daddy's girl and the youngest spoiled kind of type of thing. She's expecting that from her man. You feel me? So naturally they were basically oil and vinegar. They did not mix. And essentially they didn't mix because they have 2 different ideologies about the world, right? So, sometimes the mixture, right, which is in that book again, mixture can be used. People can be used for, their looks or the glamour part of this thing. So essentially my brother-in-law was getting used for his physical stature and his looks and his like he's a good dude. So naturally, what I'm saying, anybody would get him, especially if their clock is ticking with kids. So, this is a subconscious thing that's happening. And, what I'm saying, like in desperation mode, if a goddess want a child, shit, she's going to bend and make that child happen. So in their relationship, I could see how it was more so about the child, about children coming into the fold. But
Mm.
just like I was saying again, everything is spiritual and everything was meant to be, because essentially that situation had to happen to transform my brother-in-law and also transform Andrea into their own unique Heru's journey.
You know, you just said something so good that brings another aspect into the situation, that our relationships are not just impacted by our lineage, our mothers, and how they loved us, but our relationships are also impacted with our desire to mother or our need to nurture something. Right? So, like, even a lot of women who find themselves being like super saver girl, you know, she breaking her back for a man, she being the safe space a man can come into, her saying, you know, she's going to help that man get to wherever he has to go. That's a part of her mother instinct.
Yeah.
That's a part of her wanting to nurture something and raise something and see something grow. So some women have that calling, right? They want to be a mother, they want to birth something, they want to give life to something, and they will unconsciously mother their partners.
Yeah. Well, I mean, it's a natural trait, especially when if you have a guy that feels this dependency towards women, you know what I'm saying? Like almost in the aspect of, oh, she's doing stuff for me. Okay, this is what I'm talking about. You feel me? So naturally,
Well, that happened with my brother.
Right, that's what I was saying.
Yeah.
I was trying to say that without saying it, but
Yeah.
yeah. So that dependency is a thing because you know, there's some guys that feel like that's what they want and that's what they need based off of they always seen it that particular way. You feel me? Especially if you're the youngest, right? But that nurturing energy is very powerful and very profound because again, we need that. Like the nurturing is just the wisdom when you break it down, and the wisdom is just the work. So essentially, nurturing is work, right? The ability to think and figure out your child's problems, the ability to put them in the best situation possible, right? The ability to teach them how to potty train and teach them how to, you know, walk and teach them their words and do their homework and all so on and so forth, right? And the nurturing aspect is the ultimate wisdom to create a aha moment or the understanding. So you know what I'm saying, it's a good thing that the goddesses have that, right? And also, you know, men, we also have it inside of us, right? I guess just the mixture aspect of this thing is sometimes things doesn't work out for people and that's okay. You know what I'm saying? Because at the end of the day, it's an adventure and you don't know where this adventure will take you, right? And it doesn't have to be um, the 65-year-old couple or 65 years in marriage and with 7 kids and they all kids went to college. That doesn't mean it's a perfect relationship. You feel me? That doesn't mean it was um all hunky dory or it was a great adventure. What if that was a robotic adventure and none of the kids?
What if they never really lived?
Right.
What if they never really loved?
Yeah, exactly.
What if they never really felt and experienced and explored? You know what I mean? Listen, this is my question for y'all in the comments. How do you feel like the imprint from your mother has impacted your love and your relationship life? How do you feel like that experience with your mother has really dictated, you know, how you receive love, what love actually means to you? You know what I mean? Because I was going to say this as well. Like, we need the mothering energy in our relationships. You need it, right? It's just about recognizing when and how. Like, we weave in and out of these experiences. So, like, even just the other day, Dream's mom had called him on the phone and I could kind of feel and, you know, hear her energy. And I had to tell him, like, babe, your mother is looking for this. Your mother is needing this. In a sense, that was me mothering you by giving you guidance on something that maybe you couldn't see, or maybe you couldn't feel, or maybe you were just in your own mindset about it. And I didn't want you to miss the moment of what was actually happening.
Mm-hmm.
So a mother, that energy, that frequency comes through and say, hey, there's a better way of doing this. Look at it this way.
Mm-hmm.
Can you feel this? Can you sense this?
Mm-hmm.
You know, et cetera, et cetera.
Absolutely.
So we need that frequency. There are times where, as a man, you have to use that mothering, nurturing energy with me.
Mm-hmm.
You know, sometimes I just need you to be in emotional safe space for me.
Mm-hmm.
And that's the main thing, I think, when it comes to the mothering imprint and the mother frequency and how it sets the tone for our love, is that mothers are supposed to be the emotional safety, the emotional security, right? Where a kid can be having all of these big emotions, but when the mom comes in, the kid feels safe again. The kid is like, okay, I can finish crying these tears. I can let all of this out, and I can realize that I'm safe and realize that I'm okay. Right?
Yeah,
That's
absolutely.
what the mother energy actually does. And sometimes, as my man, sometimes you got to give that to me. Sometimes as your woman, I have to give that to you.
Yeah.
You know, that's a part of the process.
Yeah, there's one aspect of who I want the goddesses to, and the fellas also. Y'all can invoke I said. Invoking I said will definitely help. So invoking is just basically you becoming the goddess, becoming the energy. Remember, all these gods and goddesses are just energy streams or energy. So naturally, what you do with I said is you read about her story, you read about the wisdom she pursued with Osar, you read about her going to find, you know, the 13 pieces and not finding the 14 pieces, but making the phallus out of whatever, right? And then creating, right, Heru, right? So all of that is the magic, the magic that they have inside of them, right? And then I said and Heru stories. And see, a lot of times what we're not realizing is that shit, the mother got something for that ass too. You feel me? And the mother could be in her segment bad as well. You feel me? So she can be a fierce warrior as well. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
And I said, and Nephthys are twins. So Nephthys is the darker aspect of I said. You feel me? But Nephthys is still a nurturing aspect, even though she wasn't having kids. Nephthys is probably like the auntie with no kids doing her thing, springing forward in this reality, but still coming to fuck shit up and make things happen. So, you know, when we are playing these energies out in real life, so whatever energy matches up with you closer, you want to kind of move into that sphere of going to read, find information, read, and then do the mantras, do the meditations, do the spiritual work to become that energy and watch how you start moving differently. And now, right now, since Mother's Day is this Sunday, I want y'all to try to put that move in right now. And because again, you'll start to see your mama, as I said, or a Nephthys, or a Lakshmi, or a Pravati,
Right.
you feel me? Or even like
or your mama could be a Kali.
Yeah.
You could have a Kali mama that was chopping off heads. You know what I mean? It just depends on, you know, the portal you decided to come through. Let's read this comment. It says, hey, Cosmic Goddess, love that picture you got there. It says, I've definitely settled in the past, just like my mother with my stepdad, and I definitely pull away from marriage because of her, because I've never seen a relationship to admire, unfortunately. Wow. I mean, that story is real. You know, that's a real experience. I would even challenge you to really inquire about why your mother settled, right? Does she see her relationship choice as a settling, right? Or does she feel like this is who she is and this is the type of person and partner that she needs? And what I also want to say to you, Cosmic Goddess, a part of the beautiful thing of not seeing the relationship dynamic that you would have wanted is the fact that you get to create it yourself. You get to change and shift what you observe from your mother and create your own story, right? And so, like, for me, one of the things that I received from my mother so heavily was I had to date a guy that was ambitious and that was about his bag. Had to do that. Because my mother was not entertaining nobody that did not have money, right? That did not have the drive to go and get it. So that kind of set me up to like not even see people who did not have goals, ambitions, and the discipline to go and get it. But the other side of observing my mother's relationships is because their dynamics was transactional, a lot of the times these men lacked emotional regulation. They did not have emotional control, right? Because they were probably feeling used. They were probably feeling like disrespected or whatever. And so this made me shy away from any type of person who I felt like did not have control over their emotions. I could not even talk to somebody who like was just so quick to react or quick to respond to stuff. And so choosing that came from a place of trauma, right? And not wanting to relive that experience, but it gave me the gift of being able to choose emotionally regulated partner. Do you understand what I mean? So, it's so important to really like take a step back and understand, okay, what my mother gave me can also serve my highest good.
Mm-hmm.
I can also use it to a certain extent.
Absolutely.
Let's see what Jenny said. Jenny says, the hyper independence and emotional unavailability from my mom used to make me feel I didn't need anyone. I'm so glad I no longer feel that way. I am better at letting my partner help and mother me. Oh, that is so good. I love that, Jenny. Thank you so much for sharing that. Yeah. That's major growth. It's so like the main thing is about being able to recognize these things in ourselves. Mm-hmm. And that's why relationships are so important. Mm-hmm. Like some of the things that I needed to heal, I don't know if I could have healed it if I weren't in a relationship that forced that reflection. Mm-hmm. Right? If I weren't having experiences with Dream that made me be like, what is that about? What is that frustration, or what is that sadness? What is that anger? Mm-hmm. Why don't I express myself in certain ways? That was another very big thing for me. One of my mother imprints was I always felt like I couldn't cry in front of my mom, right? Because I grew up with a tough lioness mom who rarely cried. I've never seen my mother cry, barely. I only seen her cry in extreme things, like the loss of a family member. Mm-hmm. But I always knew when she was going through something, even when she didn't shed tears. Mm-hmm. I just knew. I could just feel that something was going on. Mm-hmm. And but for me, I was sensitive. And when I say sensitive, I mean can really feel energy deeply. Mm-hmm. And so tears would come down. And my mom would say the old classic saying, what are you crying for? I'm going to give you something to cry about. Like just hearing my mother's words would bring tears to my eyes because there was an energy behind what she was communicating, mm-hmm. And so that made it difficult for me to be vulnerable and express myself because I'm like, I'm feeling some type of way, but I don't want to look weak about what it is I'm feeling. Mm-hmm. I got these emotions and all of these things, but I don't want to look like I'm too sensitive or like I can't take things or, all of that. So that mother energy and how we are raised by our mother and how they show us love and the level of safety and security that they give us, it shows up here. Going back to even the tears, like sometimes I would get frustrated with myself and I didn't even realize this, but sometimes I would get frustrated because I'm like, I feel like if I'm crying, I can't get to the solution, right? I feel like the crying, you may look at it as the crying is a scapegoat from looking at the real problem. You understand what I mean? Mm-hmm. Like emotional manipulation. Because I've seen this before. I've seen kids, we've all seen kids, maybe they're about to get in trouble And instead of them owning whatever it is, they just start crying to try to deflect or divert from whatever's happening.
Mm-hmm.
You know what I mean? So all of these things kind of presented a challenge for me in being vulnerable and open and letting you see the ways that I was hurting, because that looked like weakness, or like, I'm gonna give you something. Why are you crying based off of a conversation?
Yeah, no, I get it. I understand. Like I was saying at the beginning, I think the mother is the matters of the heart. So whatever and however all y'all mothers, showed up is a creative endeavor or the matter of her heart. So cosmic goddess, Jenny, you know what I'm saying? All of our mothers showed up the best way they can. And essentially what we got to understand is, if mother is a byproduct of Mother Earth, which is earth and heart is the same thing. And essentially, we got to understand that every mother has their own creative genius. That's why you can't have multiple goddesses in the kitchen. You feel me? Because again, this is my kitchen, right? What's she doing in my kitchen? You feel me? I remember my mama, she was having a Thanksgiving dinner at our apartment, and my grandma and my auntie was trying to, help cook and everything like that. And my mama was not having it. She was trying to be cool at first, but at the end of the day, she was like ticked off. So much so that she was telling my grandma, so much mean things like, "Nah, you ain't doing it right. Just I got it. Don't worry about it." That Jamaican stuff come out of them. So these mothers are their own planets, their own worlds, the Earth, and essentially the Earth is creative aspects that show up in different ways, right? That's why it's so hard for a lot of goddesses to get along. You feel me? Like some can maneuver in a space and just have these moments by moments, pocket by pocket. But catch two girls living together, see how long that lasts.
Yeah, it only lasts for a year with
you
me.
Believe it's gonna last. Oh, we can do this 3, 4, 5, 6 years. Nope, 6 months. Barely that. Because all mothers, all goddesses have different ways they nurture their home, and their home is just a reflection of them. So naturally, you know what I'm saying, that mother energy is the matters of your heart, and hearts are big, creative, magical contraptions that we got to understand is making and spinning things in their own unique way. So it's kind of like, it's just like that kitchen analogy, right? It's the same thing. Like if you have a Play-Doh set and this goddess is making her Play-Doh set, she don't want you to come and touch her shit. Guys, we might be like, oh, okay, yeah, this is all right, shit.
Not the Play-Doh set.
What's wrong with the Play-Doh?
You just so...
What's wrong with the Play-Doh?
So random. A Play-Doh set?
Hey, that's the kid. You went from the
kitchen to the Play-Doh set.
Well, because I'm showing you the sculpture of how goddesses can create.
You was in the kitchen. You could have still said a recipe. If I'm up in here making my cornbread the way that I make it, and my mama or another woman comes in there and say, "Nah, girl, you got to do it like this." Yeah, that's gonna cause an issue.
Your cornbread?
My cornbread, my whatever it may be.
Yeah, I ain't gonna talk about your cornbread, not on live, but
you know you like to play.
Nah, but that potato salad you make, oh my God.
I don't even make no potato salad.
Exactly, I know that.
So please stop.
That's why I know you better not make that shit. Yeah, nah. But yeah, no, but you're right. Even just going into the kitchen, cooking up a spread, you feel me? The goddesses have their own way of creating things. So that's why we got to understand that matter of the heart is a big thing, and it's an emotional thing. It's a feeling thing, and they feel the world differently than everybody else. And that's why they're the first living, powerful beings, the Black goddess, straight up and down.
You just dropped a bar? Should we drop bombs right there?
No, I ain't dropping no bombs. Shit.
The Black goddess.
Nah,
This is
straight up,
true.
she is. That's what it is. And essentially, in relationships, you know what I'm saying? You got to get out the way sometimes, fellas. You feel me? Got to move out the way. I move out of DRAY's way whenever I see, oh, okay, she full head of steam. Let me go into my corner and chill. Let me go outside. You feel me? And let me do me and let her live in her imaginative process world and move things how she wants to move it. And then when she needs my assistance, I can come and be a solution. That's a
Yeah.
bar. Let me go ahead and drop that bar. You feel me? You feel me? We could do that real quick.
Message.
Ha!
Love it. Love it. All right, look, this is my last question.
Okay.
How important is it for the people who are in relationships to develop respect, love, and appreciation for their partner's mother? So, like me to your mother, why is that dynamic important? Right? You to my mother, why is that? Why is having a healthy relationship with the mother of your partner so important? And then how do you like cultivate that and create
Well,
that?
it's the mason. That's what it is. The master mason, the mother and son. So if the mother and son is connected in the umbilical cord, the invisible umbilical cord, then naturally, you know what I'm saying, you taking a shot at my mama, you taking a shot at me. And vice versa. You see what I'm saying? So naturally,
absolutely,
regardless of how we
absolutely.
even want to spin it and feel it, you can still feel a way. Not saying you can't address people's mamas or address the elephant in the room with if there's an uncomfortable situation happening, but naturally you have to be able to you know what I'm saying, come into a real respect thing. Like that one time, and I was picking up my mama, right? And DRAY and my mama was there. And I said, "Hey, come on, babe, come on. You can get in the front. Don't worry about it." My mama got the bag, and he was like, no, Miss SL, you go in the front. It's like, oh, okay, shit. She understand it. Okay, bet. So, that's a respect thing based off of you not feeling less than. You're like, okay, let the mother goddess get in the front. And you just did that not too long ago with your grandma. When I had picked up your grandma, you was like, "Nah, grandma, you can get in the front." She was like, "No, I'll get in the back. I want y'all to ride as the king and queen that you are." I'm like, "Oh shit, it's a long ride, grandma. Them knees,
It
I
was
don't know.
perfect. I'm so glad grandma got the
not,
back seat. I needed that.
not the same knees, grandma. You know what I'm saying?
I needed
It's a
that. She
long
said she
ride.
ride in the back seat all the time. She always gets chauffeured.
I drove her an hour. I'm like,
you did a great job taking care of grandma.
I know, but that's the thing. You got to take care of the goddesses. So, you know what I'm saying? Even your grandma, when I went and
took her to get a haircut.
Took her to get her haircut, right? She thinking she was going to come out of her bread. I'm like, no, hey, wait, not around me. Whoa. I almost felt offended, nigga. You feel me? Because naturally, that's just what men's supposed to do. Like, you know what I'm saying? Just because I'm picking you up, don't mean I'm not going to be able to take care of this haircut for you, because that's the goddess energy, right? So naturally, you know what I'm saying, as men, we got to look at things in a like, you got to take care of particular things with the older goddesses and the older mothers of this world, because they're a world of wisdom, you feel me? And they're gonna have your back extremely trust and believe, nigga.
I also think one of the things that really works is like, I don't really address your mom, or I've never addressed his mom like with an issue that I may have had about anything she may have said or done. Like, there are some things that maybe she may say that I may be like side-eyeing her, but I would rather just talk to you about it. And just like, babe, your mom said this, or your mom did this, and I don't know how I feel about that.
Yeah.
And I'll tell you, like, okay, babe, I'm going to let you say something next time. If not, then I'm going to politely or respectfully say something.
Mm-hmm.
But that way we already have kind of like an understanding on our perspective. Like nothing is like new.
Right.
And I think that's a major thing in relationships that is so important, is having that real, honest, open communication.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
Like if something my mom or your mom says or does that makes either one of us uncomfortable, we got to be able to talk about it amongst ourselves, amongst me and you.
Absolutely.
And then I got to give you the space to handle your mother accordingly.
Mm-hmm.
And you got to give me the space to handle my mother accordingly.
Absolutely.
Right? I think that's a major part of how it works. But I think what allows us to be able to do it in a healthy way is that we spent a lot of time observing our mothers.
Mm-hmm.
Like whenever your mother is around, I'm just observing her.
Mm-hmm.
What is she saying? What is she doing?
Mm-hmm.
What are her patterns? Like, what is her perspective?
Mm-hmm.
And after doing enough observation, I'm like, okay, I understand who this woman is. I know how you became how you are. Mm-hmm. You and her have two totally different stories in your upbringing. Mm-hmm. So it'd be my responsibility to like find the commonality, find the truth between both stories, and make sense of it myself.
Absolutely. Yeah, I think with mothers, it's just one of those things where you just have to respect the elders. You know what I'm saying? Like that whole thing, respect your elders, and do it from a space of love for yourself, but also, um, what's the fight? Like, when you don't have to fight. Like, for instance, I give you a great example. DRAY's mama, the COVID thing was happening. COVID. And y'all go check out Drewski's new skit. Hilarious, nigga. He just dropped it an hour ago. Crazy. And anyway, COVID was happening. And essentially, her mama and her father-in-law wanted everybody to take them jabs. We was not trying to hear none of that shit. You feel me? And it was just a thing we was just like.
She wanted everybody to take it.
Yeah, I think wasn't that what was happening? Because they was mad about me.
She was not calling us saying, "Go get that jab."
Nah, they were mad for some reason. I can't remember what it was. And anyway,
were you not wearing a mask or something?
Was it a mask? That was what it was.
Or you didn't want to take a COVID test?
We wasn't fucking with none of that COVID shit. And I hear there's another new thing coming out. So y'all be on the lookout for that, whatever it is. What's it called, babe?
I don't know what it's called, but I haven't given it too much attention. But supposedly this other virus happening. I don't know.
Somebody put it in the chat if y'all got it, because we do want niggas don't look at the news or nothing. We just be like,
we don't know, y'all.
Something else is coming.
We heard it was something about something happening, and we don't know. Y'all let us know what y'all know.
Strap up, nigga, straight up. But no, you had got sick. I think you was pregnant too. I think you just gave birth to Kimmy, maybe. Yeah, and
you did get COVID when I was pregnant when I just had Kimmy.
Yeah, so it was a whole bunch of different stuff happening. Anyway, boom, they were kind of.
He had to be quarantined.
Right.
He quarantined themselves for 2 weeks from me and the newborn baby.
2 weeks.
Or was it a week?
Long. Yeah.
I don't know. That's 2 weeks. 2 weeks was like, I guess what they were saying, 14 days. But maybe it was a few days.
So boom, your mama came over and me and her just had a heart-to-heart about it because I just told her how I felt about the whole thing.
I remember that.
And she was no, you wasn't there. And
I still remember it.
Yeah, you probably remember it or whatever, but she wasn't there and she just felt me. She just felt, oh, okay, it's a real nigga. You just standing on what you talking about, cool. Boom. So she loved that about me, right? But then years later, when they found out that Jabba Dabba Doo was a trick, they came back and said, "Dad, you was right. That shit was some bullshit." I was like, "Hey, I wasn't trying to step on y'all toes. I was telling y'all, you know what I'm saying? We just wasn't partaking in that straight up and down. You feel me?" So, with all that to say, it's important to stand on what you believe in and respect what everybody else believes, especially our mothers, because again, they're gonna stay in whatever matters of the heart, which is the mother, the matter of the heart, their frequency is in. And we just all we can do is respect it and watch them do them. And then, what I'm saying, if they come back around to find some more wisdom from the young gods, then essentially we can give it to them.
Last thing I'll say before we get off of here, for the mothers out there, just with mother being the matters of the heart, you can have more matters of the heart than just the kiddos.
Oh, absolutely.
And you need it. I think that's another one of the major imprints that I observe from a lot of mothers is them not having anything else that matters to them beyond their children. Mm-hmm. Like no purpose outside of mother, no passion outside of mother, no mission outside of mother. And I think that's a very dangerous place to be in for the woman and for the children in those environments and for the husband. Because if a woman's primary focus is on the kids, what happens when the kids leave? Mm-hmm. Kids are at school. Yeah. Kids graduate. Absolutely. Now who are you? Right? Absolutely. Same thing in your relationships. Like Dream and I cannot just focus on the kids, because when they grow up and they move out of the house and they're living their own lives, we like, okay, who is Dream and DRAY? Because Dream and DRAY was only Dream and DRAY because of these kids. Mm-hmm. And so as parents, and really since we're focusing on the mothers, it's so important to give our energy to other things that fuel us and that give us life and that inspire us.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, absolutely. I had my homeboy, his mama, she was basically like my second mom. My nigga John, he became a millionaire when we was in middle school. So, but he still stayed at the same school. Family millionaire, Hispanic family, Colombian, whatever. They could own a construction company. Cool, right? Long story short, mom never worked. She never worked since whatever, right? She was just a mother to all of us in the hood, mother to her sons, her 4 sons, and she just raised them beautifully, right? Nigga, when that last son got out the house, she did not know what to do with herself. Nigga, so much so that she was a millionaire and she ended up taking a job as a crossing guard.
Oh yeah.
Just to do something every day. So she's a crossing guard, but she loved it. And she a millionaire doing a crossing guard job. But she loved it because again, she still get to, use 2 hours of her day, right? Because it wasn't that long of a job. It's 2 hours here, 2 hours at the end, or hour, something like that, right? Doing the crossing guard thing. And the funny thing is she was a crossing guard by the school I worked at. I was like, my second mama. Nigga, I used to stop at that crossing guard spot and just sit there and talk to her and just love on her. I'm like, Miss Carrillo, why you doing this, girl? I know you got that money, and what the hell? She just said, Kareem,
crossing guard.
I just really she older too. She was older. I just really just needed something to do, and this is a great way for me to get my steps in and start walking and moving and da-da-da-da. But I knew that the deeper message was the kids are all gone. So I need something for myself.
Wow. We're going to read Jenny's last comment, then get out of here. I was blessed enough to decide to have a life when my son turned 3, and it has helped me a lot to allow myself to be more than a mom. Absolutely. So true. I love it. I love the life that I live outside of the kids, and it brings the kids more joy. It's like my mom has a hobby. My mom has something that she does. Like if your kids' friends ask them, hey, what does your mom do? What's your mom like? These kids need to have something to say. Like my kids can say, my mom coaches volleyball and she speaks on YouTube and she has a bunch of girlfriends in a Sacred Sister Circle. right? Like they have something that they can share about their mom that goes beyond just them.
Mm-hmm.
Their mom has a passion,
Mm-hmm.
and that energy gives the kids inspiration to go out and do something for themselves and not feel like they are forever indebted to mom. Because that be a lot of people too. They feel like, oh, my mom did everything for me.
Mm-hmm.
I got to do everything for my mom.
Mm-hmm.
I'm indebted to my mom forever.
Mm-hmm.
And that's not the way that it's supposed to be either. All
Mhm.
right. Peace and love, fam. We just wanted to hop on and talk about the mother energy and how it impacts our love and our relationship life. We are going to continue doing more of this leading up to the New Love Life event happening in Dallas, Texas. But really, we're doing this just because it's what we love. We love the conversation. It's a part of who we are as a couple, you know, really growing together in this spiritual path and understanding healing and self-development and manifestation and all the things, right? We've explored it and expanded on it together, and we want to share that with y'all. So we will see y'all in Dallas on 8/8. If you can't come in person, we also have the virtual tickets. We would love to see you either way. Go ahead and get those early bird tickets now so that when you show up in person on 8/8, you'll get a free gift from Dream and I. We're one. And then you'll get a free gift from Brother Yosef. Get your tickets, make your way to Dallas, fly, drive, take a train. I don't know. But get there. We're going to be so excited to see y'all. All right. Peace and love, fam. We will catch y'all in the next one.
Peace, family. Happy Mother's Day.
And happy Mother's Day.
And we're going to see y'all on the Wise Builds Saturday.
And we'll see
before
y'all
Mother's Day.
Saturday in the Wise Builds. Peace, y'all.